Hey everybody, it's Narrative Tarot. I'm here with the monthlies. We're starting back up. So this is for January 2022. We're about to go to Capricorn season, or the planet that rules it, Saturn. So this video is going to be for Capricorn or Saturn. So if you feel like those placements in your chart are significant, then yeah, go ahead, watch this channel. So this is Narrative Tarot. I do monthlies by planet, but I will be putting the zodiac in there because it tends to be significant. And so how I do this is just generally 2 parts of the reading. It's not really love specific. It's just kind of picking up the energies on the month. It's not really dealing with the aspects, so it's not astrology based in that I'm going to be telling you this Saturn enters this, this position on this day or blah, blah, blah. Not that. But it is for people who feel like their planets in their chart, the progressions and stuff like that, and aspects are significant to them. And they may be somebody who sees that over a sign. And I kind of want you. Alright. Big kahunas is what I'm getting. Alright. So. But calm it down. I think it's like raining out there or something. Anyway, it's kind of weird out there. So. I'm getting drawn to this Hierophant card. So you're going to have to figure out what you want to give your time and energy to January 2022. It kind of feels like I'm blacking out a little bit. And so I don't know how you feel about the passage of time, whether or not your days feel like kind of like just rolling into one another. But pay attention to that, because those little lapses, you could be missing really important details. Or for some people, this happens when you go into altered states of consciousness to obtain information, and then you come out with divine inspiration. The 7 of Wands is that there's some conflict. So you could be someone like myself who you could be talking to people, and then you like, not that you tune them out, that's not what it is, but it's like you started developing ideas, maybe because you're in such a relaxed state, like you're comfortable, right? Like you're comfortable, you're safe. The 6 of Pentacles could talk about that you're allowed to enter another brain state because of that. Your basic needs have been met, essentially, right? You have food, you have water, you have shelter, things like that. So that's kind of done, and it allows you to go into this altered states of consciousness. You might want to, I mentioned Maslow's hierarchy of needs like a lot, but you may look into that, like want to look into that and record, if you would like, when you enter these lapses, because that could be something very significant about that as well, that'll help you kind of, if you were to build a ritual, it would help you a lot more. You know what I'm saying? It would help you. Double check, make sure. Ooh, where is it? Okay, there it is. I was confused. I was like, where's the time? I just make sure my phone gets weird. Tech has been kind of weird for me in the last week or 2. So, yeah, you're comfortable. The Queen of Wands, the Lovers, you're comfortable. With the Lovers, I think, and the Star, you're comfortable around other people. You're comfortable being around other people, being yourself around other people. You're comfortable opening the door for people. Maybe you've always wanted to show a act of kindness with the Six of Pentacles in that way, but we're never comfortable with doing that. Maybe that's a larger signal to Three of Pentacles as it's moving towards the end. Opening the door. Opening the door for somebody who could change your life. No, that could be like opening the door to like having a relationship with someone or friendship. But it literally could be you meet somebody, you open the door for them, you strike up a conversation. And then with this, they can tell through their conversation with you, this High Priestess and this Queen of Wands, that you have some sort of personality that is very inspiring and very like witty, and you can get along with people. They may see for that. So if you're in an industry that really thrives on networking, I would say that January actually might be a really good time. I don't see it more as you're going out and stuff like that. The Hermit kind of puts a wrap on that. It could be a time where you're quite busy with this Hierophant card. You're busy, but you're at your fullest potential, and you're on. You may have to lawyer up with this person or something like that, or they teach you the legal ins and outs of things. Not that they're going to betray you or anything like that, but I think maybe they have a past where they have some financial shit that they had to deal with, and they're just letting you know you need to have things in order, because with this Hierophant and this High Priestess, they know what it's like to deal with a Queen of Wands. And Queen of Wands could be somebody who is quite I want to say egotistical. I'm not trying to put it on a fire sign. That's, I hate when people kind of do that, but it's like that kind of vindictive side, or that very ambitious side, where people are very ambitious with the Seven of Wands. And they use their ability to move through society and to talk to people to get what they want. But it's often underhanded also. So they want you to like be aware of those people. Be aware of what you own and what you don't own. I was just looking at, it was like a recent article that came out. I didn't read all of it, but it was talking about, I think, MC Light, how she just got back the rights to her name or something like that. And so this person will teach you how to own the rights to the things that you want. Because Capricorn is in the 10th house. I like government and stuff like that, but it sits at the top, like career and stuff like that. So it's no wonder this is a career-oriented like reading. And then Saturn's there too, so it's also about lessons and shit. Make sure you lock everything. If you're sharing laptops, make sure that the things that you need are locked and the things that they need are locked, so that you're not getting information. Make sure you don't auto save any passwords. Make sure that you're careful with liquids around what you're using, and just make sure that your firewall or whatever is protected. You're gonna have to, with this Ace of Swords and the Hermit, consistently go into your system and update and upgrade and do all that stuff. That'll be really important, because there may be people in your industry that end up having a series of attacks. If you work at a job where there's one person that's like very charismatic, be careful, because they could be a spy. They could be like a rat or something like that. It could be their personality, but it could be With the Hierophant, your company could be going through some sort of business changes, and they're using people, like, these people maybe, like, I just had somebody in my job, like, she's PRN or whatever, like, as, like, an as-needed type. But they may be using, like, those sorts of people, and they'll, like, be asking questions that seem kind of, like, innocuous, but actually are very loaded, and they, yeah, they're gonna be really loaded questions. So that's also a thing to, with the Ace of Swords, to keep your mouth shut, and the Hermit card to explore the deeper meaning of what's being asked, and not necessarily why it's being asked, but like what information is being asked, and then why, where would it be used, where could it be used against you. That would be something to think about. So there's that. Yay. Ten of Cups, Eight of Cups. So the Ten of Cups and the Eight of Cups, you'll probably be like, just write down stuff so you don't forget. The Page of Cups, and we got the Seven of Swords under that. Just make sure that you're not like, damn it, like I forgot something, or you don't have the words, or you don't have the information. Make sure that you're prepared as possible, because with the Eight of Cups, I'm not getting like walking away as in like, oh, you're sadly walking away from a relationship. It's like double tracking back to figure out what's going on. Like you don't prepare the night before, and then you drive off, and then you forget like something important. And with that Seven of Swords, it's like it could add up and work against you long term, especially if it's dealing with like your job or something like that. And don't let it be a day that you have to do something for real. Then it'll get weird. Death. Just make sure that the stakes aren't really high. Make sure that the consequences aren't really severe. Six of Swords. Okay. Next deck I'm using is this. Sorry, I've been listening to Gallant like a lot. Gallant. He's just like really talented, and I don't know, like creatives are very attracted to me. As in like when they unleash the things that are from their soul, and you can tell it's something that they had a big part in, right? I like when when people have a part in their own creative process. It's a very attractive thing to me. Venus and Taurus, opposed Pluto and Scorpio kind of person. So this is the Five of Coins. So I'm gonna start there. I have a certain spread with this. I almost forgot to do the spread. So, if you're running or trying to run away, if you're trying to run away from your problems, so you have the Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Ace of Swords, and then the Father of Cups with the King of Cups. If you're trying to like run away from this, because the Chariot's following right after that, you're gonna be forced to like sit down and like actually look at this. Actually, with this sword, you're gonna realize what cut this flower from the root and caused it to wither and die. It's a situation that happened that caused it. It could be a disagreement, but it's like some core thing that you're gonna reduce to like a sentence or a word. You're going to be able to pinpoint it. With the Father of Cups, it could be because of your father. It could be a male presence. It could be something dealing with like an emotional relationship, emotional conquest, emotional way of being, something like that. With Justice, you may be able to see for the first time two sides of what's going on. You may be able to actually like, under here is the Father's voice. So you may be actually able to now see both sides of it, very balanced and very, I don't want to say wise, but like, yeah, very balanced and very strongly. Because maybe like with this Five of Pentacles, if it was a disagreement, you were like struggling to figure out what like the other person's position was. It wasn't like there's anger or anything like that, but you were just you were struggling, and maybe struggling to see the other person's position really held you back from like being able to move on. Like if you broke up with somebody and you really couldn't process or figure out why they wanted to move on, like maybe they said it with the Ace of Swords, but you weren't able to process it, and now because you understand the other person's side, you can process it and then you can move on. But like it's until you actually like kind of run into their perspective as opposed to run away from their perspective, you won't be able to do that because you need to be able to see their perspective. Which, as a Leo moon, I'm like, fuck that. So I'm always like, fuck that. It's like Leo moon, Scorpio 3rd house, Pluto post, Venus. I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for seeing your point of view. Fuck your point of view. Anyway, but you may be able to figure it out. It could be you have a conversations like exactly like this. So if you're trying to run away from it, you will run into it again, in a different form. Like literally in a different form. Like you'll run into it in a different form. And this time it'll work. We got the Nine of Cups under that, and then the 7. And the thing about it is, the thing that you run into won't look like this. It'll look like this, but basically it sets you up. So this is something that I explored when I was doing my like plant medicine type shit with Damiana. And I really feel like that plant called another plant to help me do some massive healing work. The energy that you abandon or try to leave literally called in the future another event and was like, okay, you're of the same vibration. All right, cool. I'm going to tether the lesson to you. I'm going to send it over through this like etheric energetic cord. And when they get to you, I'm going to shoot over there, and then I'm going to light bulb it, because maybe how I'm doing it is not going to be helpful, or they're running away and I needed them to not run away. So maybe if I make myself a little bit more palatable, it'll make them kind of stay and linger a little bit. And then I'll like surprise attack them, and then they'll get it, and then we'll move forward. So yeah, you will be gaining a lot of perspectives. This is something that you've been trying to figure out for a while though too. Like, so you've been trying to figure this shit out for a minute. You've been really trying to. You've been staying up trying to figure it out. You've been asking other people. You may have even paid for advice or something like that. You've been like reading about it. Things have been very, with this moon card, very resonant with you about it, but you've been really searching for this answer. Let's get this ace of, I want both, I think. About the way, it's dealing with the way that the world society acts, or the way in the world society The bottom of society, the bottom rungs of society, the scum of society. I don't want to say it like that, but like the scummy parts of society. And then the 5, the swords, and the 9. So you may have hit rock bottom. Congrats. Yeah, rock bottom. It's okay. You hit rock bottom, but that shit is okay. It is okay. You have figured something out. You have gotten to the common denominator between all these things. The common denominator between all of these events. You finally gotten it, and so congrats. Let's do one last card, and then we get the fuck out of this bitch. Strength. We got the 5 of swords at the bottom, so you definitely are trying to figure out the darkness. With this strength, just make sure that you're not trying to use escapism in any form, any shape. Just because you need to be very clear, and that doesn't lead you anywhere with this Starter of Pentacles. And the 5 of Cups is under that shit. So it doesn't really lead you where you think. So I would say drop the it'll work this time kind of BS. With the Lovers, it'll work out if I put my all into it. You got the Father of Cups again, Justice again. Sure, all of these kind of stay together. So I would say there's going to be a lesson learned. You're going to get a eureka moment, but then it's going to be another scenario that pops up that like tempts you. Maybe because the stakes are upped now. You know, if an example, if it was a relationship and you broke up and they wanted to move in together at that point, when you meet back up after you've learned the lesson, you realize everything, they're going to want to move in together, have a child, get married, and you're not going to have to work. They're going to, pay for everything. And you just got to make sure how realistic is that. And how are you using this situation to run from the real problems that you have, or overlook the problems that are clearly being presented to you. Peace. All right. See you, Saturn, Capricorn peoples. And the next one. Have a great January.